Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, Attention and ADHD coach Jeff Copper, and I'm here with comedian Rick Green of Totally ADD. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. Is this a show? Excellent.
Well, it's kind of a show. It's makeshift. You know, we do what we can. You know what I'm saying? Anything to get the ADD word out there.
That's all I ask.
You know, sometimes you're brighter than you look. And once you said that sometimes the people with the strongest opinions, the most ignorant, have the strongest opinion.
Well,
did you say that?
Yeah, in fact, it's very easy to have a very strong opinion until you know more. This is why people who don't have kids have the best advice on how to raise kids, because they've never actually tried those things in real life and found out they don't work. So, yeah.
Very, very true. So today, it's, you know, a lot of people out there bump into people who's like, ADD, it's not, it's, you know, it doesn't exist, it's just all methodical, but you have a real good way of stopping in the tracks. So we're going to role play here for a look, and I'm going to be the jerk.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll see if you can stop me in the tracks.
Yes, it's going to be.
I'm not acting, I'm going to be original, right?
Okay.
This whole ADD thing, it's just, it's made up. People are stupid, lazy, there's nothing to this. It doesn't make any sense to me. What's the deal?
Yeah, you're probably right. No, you know, here's my response. This is my old response. But, you know, it never, and then I had to explain to the police what it was, and they didn't believe it either. So there's two strategies. If I don't like the person particularly, and especially if there's observers around and they've been blowing off, as you just did, you did a good job of that, then I use, but what about DRD 4.7?
What?
That was the first ADHD gene that was identified. That's almost 15 years ago. The University of California, and the blood work was done at the Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, and they identified the very first gene that's related to ADHD, and they've discovered over half a dozen since then. So how do you explain that? Oh, didn't you know about that?
No.
Well, then how come you have such strong opinion if you don't know about...
That's just a bunch of, I mean, they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, they may not, but there's 4,000 scientific studies that say that it's real. What have you got?
My opinion?
Maybe you should hang on to that. Now, here's the other solution. Go ahead, give me that again. Do that role play thing. Roll us in.
This ADD thing, it's a myth. It's all made up. Those people, they just need to try harder.
You know what? Yes, that is exactly what I used to think. Exactly. Just how can you not try hard? Just try harder. And then I started to learn about the genetics, about the heritability, about the genes, about the neurology, how it shows up on brain scans, and it's amazing what it actually is. And everything I knew about ADHD turned out to be wrong, which was a little embarrassing because I actually have it. And then from there, but I become the agreeable one, and I go back to, yeah. You know what? That's exactly what I thought. You know why I can say that? Because at some point that probably was exactly what I thought.
What I love about it is two things. Number one is at the beginning you can draw the whatever that is gene.
DRD 4.7. Oops.
DRD
4.7.
4.7. So remember is that you can draw that like a gun, or the other strategy which I really like is that's what I used to think until.
Exactly, until I actually got some education. Or, well, you don't have to see, then that gets some defensive again. Just, you know what, that's exactly what I thought. And it turns out there's all this mythology, and away you go. And I also strongly urge you not to say all that much. You don't need to pour, because I'll pour out every piece of information I know and every statistic, and that just after a while sounds like, man, this guy is really defensive. I've stopped believing him now. He's just, it's like the salesman who won't let go. At some point, you're kind of, wait a second, what is wrong with this car he's trying to sell me?
It's kind of like convincing a drunk.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to that level because it's not going to do any good. Neither one of you listen at that point in time.
No, exactly.
So well, I appreciate you coming on the show because the idea here is if you've got ADD and you're running into somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, they're uninformed, they're ignorant, and they've got a very strong opinion, pull the gun, the gene factor, or I agree and make that change because I think it'll really work. So with that, Rick, for those who want to learn about you and the
Come
whole
on over to the house and no wait.
The number is wait, you're moving. You don't have a house.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the middle of moving, but the website's totallyadd.com, 2 L's in totally, and no D. I'm saying it totally. ADD.com. There's 5 hours of free videos. There's another 6 or 7 hours of videos you can purchase. There are products. There's very cool T-shirts and some hilarious fridge magnets. They're so good, you'll want to own a fridge.
I'll go out and buy one today just for the magnet.
Exactly.
So with that, Rick, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Take care.